Hi, good evening, sir. Welcome to Food Delicious Live. We are honored to have Major General Dr. Rajesh Chaba joining us this evening. So, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much, Puneet. It's a pleasure being associated with you and joining you for this small talk between friends.
We are very grateful to you to have spared this time. You really have a busy schedule, but very, very kind of you. You've been humble all the while, and as a Fauji kid with a Navy background, there's a salute as we start the evening.
Thank you so much. So kind of you.
And sir, it's a real big honor today that we must tell all our audience that we have somebody who's an unsung hero, who's been part of the Operation Pawan that took place in Sri Lanka. Okay, sir. So you are part of the Op Pawan. We'd like to know more because you sustained a gunshot, and there's so much to know more about. Really, कि क्या हुआ क्या था?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. You know, we sailed off from Chennai. I must say, how did we reach that place? It's an interesting story. We sailed off from Chennai and we were in a ship which carried 4 BMPs of mine. Now, BMP is a infantry combat vehicle. You can say it's a light tank which carries soldiers inside the vehicle itself. So there were 4 BMPs in the ship, and we were to land in Jaffna and meet my company commander who was already there. So the time of the reporting to the shore was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we, after having spent about 14 hours traveling from Chennai to Jaffna, we were about to reach the shore when the Navy captain, he called me. I was a young captain that time. So he says, "Captain." I say, "Yes, Captain." So he says, "There is a problem." I said, "Sir, what is the problem?" He says, "The problem is that we were supposed to get a all clear signal from the shore, which we have not received." So I said, "Sir, then what?" He said, "Then we got 2 options. First option is that we stay in the sea for another 24 hours. We try again tomorrow at the same time. And the second option is that I can go about 1 kilometer off the shore and I can open up my bows and you can swim across to the shore." Now that was interesting because that was the first time I had not done any flotation in my life. So I went to the soldiers and I asked them, I said, "What is your thought process?" And they were so sick of being in the sea for the 24 hours, having suffered seasickness. They all said, "We will swim across." So I said, "Fine, let's go." That was the gung-ho approach of a young captain. And there it was. So he opened up the bows. We went into the sea and we reached the shore and to meet my company commander who was there. So that was how we reached Jaffna. And I think we may be the only people who ever swam across the ocean to reach an operational area.
Good. I think a lot of people don't know that this also happened during that time because people know there was IPKF part of the operations, but this was you being amphibious part of the combat vehicle. What we have in part of the mechanized infantry.
Yeah. So this is how we reached. And then, of course, the next 45 days were very interesting because that was the time when the roads had to be opened. The Jaffna fort was yet to be captured. The Jaffna area was yet to be cleaned up. So we were heavily involved in all these operations. And you talked about the gunshot wound. Yeah, that happened. That happened actually very suddenly because we had reached that area where I was to stay for the next few days, just the evening prior. And next morning, I had taken a group of about 10 soldiers and we were just going for a recce of the area in which we were to be deployed for the next few days, just to see how the ground is, where are the important areas. And we were moving from one side to another side when we saw few people running across the field. So the first reaction was, let's start firing because that times were bad. So I told my troops, I said, don't fire now. There could be civilians over there. And let us see what is there and let's move towards them.
So you
And that was
suspected
the
them to
process.
be part of the. Sorry, sir. You suspected them to be part of the LT. These. Then that what was the
It
thought
was,
that came to your mind?
yeah, it was, see, it was not clear. It was very natural of the civilians that time to run off seeing army, because they never wanted to be questioned, they never wanted to be asked things. So it was very natural to move away. So we were not very sure what were they. And it was while moving towards them, we were about 200-300 meters away when they started firing at us. And so the moment the firing started, we went to ground, and I suddenly realized that I was not wearing a helmet. I was not having a rifle. I was just wearing a pistol, because a young captain who's gung ho does not wear the helmet, because that's against.
So the
That's
Josh
against.
Josh has been always there with you, right? Even now.
Yeah. So
You don't like to go the other way. Go with the Josh.
yeah.
As the
So
army says.
there was no helmet. I was a fool. So there was a no. I was a young fool, I can say that. So there was no helmet. I was wearing a pistol, which I was authorized. I borrowed a light machine gun from one of my soldiers, and unfortunately, that light machine gun was firing like a rifle. So then I took a rifle from another soldier and started replying back, firing at them. And suddenly realized that we were lying in the open and people could advance on the side, because there were fields on the side, and we could be surrounded. So I told my Jawans, I said, you guys move back. And there was another field about 300 meters behind. I said, move towards that side and take cover there. While I was in the process of moving along with them, the radio operator who was with me, there was a guy called Lance Naik, Ishra Ram Jat. So he says, Saab, मेरे को गोली लगी. तो I said, कहाँ लगी? तो कहता, साहब पाँव में लगी. तो मैंने कहा, पीछे क्रॉल कर सकते हो? कहता, नहीं साहब, क्रॉल नहीं कर सकते. So I had no option but to stick around with them, and I suddenly realized the others had moved back, and I said, okay, let me shift slightly behind. There was a well there, so I said, let me take the cover of that. And that was when the moment I was about to move back, he said, "Sir, मेरे को एक और गोली लगी." So I said, कहाँ लगी? He said, hip में लगी. And when I was moving towards him to see what exactly was wrong with him, that was the time I realized that, it's something like a blade on your skull. When you suddenly use a very sharp blade and you cut your hand, you feel that there's something wrong. You may not feel the pain. But I realized that something had happened on my head. So I just moved my hand towards the back of the head. And then I realized that I had been hit with a bullet. But then I had no option. The people were still firing, and I was replying back one by one.
And sir, just want to ask you, how big was your platoon? How many people were there? And was it kind of an ambush that you were getting firing from all sides, or was it open field, enclosed area? How big was the area where you were fired from all the sides?
It was an open field, but there was where I was. It was an open field. The cover which I had was the small mundair, जो field में होती है, separating two fields. So that was the cover I had, behind which I was there and firing from there. There were corn fields on both the sides, not very far from where I was. So there was, and that was the danger that they will use that field to come and surround us. Lot of things float in your mind that time. And one of the thought in my mind that time was that the life can finish now. And the very brave of that soldier of mine, he turned towards me and he took out 5,000 rupees from his pocket. And he said, "साहब, ये 5,000 रुपए हैं, इसको आप रख लो और मेरे घर वालों को दे दो और आप वापस चले जाओ, पीछे हो जाओ." And that is the time when I told him, I said, "Listen, I am not leaving you anywhere, because अगर मैं छोड़ दिया तो मैं तो जिंदगी भर किसी को मुंह दिखाने के काबिल भी नहीं रहूं." As I said, strange things come to your mind, and I had a pistol, and the thing that came to my mind is that I am not going to be taken alive as a prisoner. So I said the last 2 bullets are one was for him and one was for me. Luckily, then we could radio back to my BMPs, and then they came. By the time they came, the sound came, and the firing suddenly stopped, and they ran away. Later on, we came to know that LTT number 2 was possibly in that area. So we don't know whom we encountered. But during the search that happened, we found medicines, we found LTT flag, we found bag containing ration. We found uncooked food. So when the BMPs came, I was just rushed to the Jaffna hospital, which was the field hospital.
So there were no casualties during that time when you were there, part of this operation that evening, that night.
No death took place. Yes. We had 2 injuries. Yes, but no. Touch wood, nobody died.
So another small thought was all throughout while you were part of these operations, what was going on in your mind? You're ready to go for the kill. What was driving you, making you with that? What was the josh that got you going? Firstly, no helmet is one josh, and then your light machine gun not firing as it should be. You know, it gives you a little step back. But still, your josh was there. I was just trying to understand how could you be doing that at that age when you have a Jawan injured, your own buddy, right at and you don't have a place where you could taking shelter, or you came down behind the well to take a cover. So what was going on in your mind?
As I said, what goes on in your mind that time are very random thoughts. And as I said, one of the random thought that I had was I was not even married, and possibly this will be my last day on the earth. And sure enough, I got engaged the moment I reached back home. But the fact remains that you do a lot of things purely because of your Paltan Ijjat. Everything happens because you cannot lose face in front of your soldiers. Because the moment you show weakness or you show fear, that gets magnified. So even when you are fearful inside, every human being is, I think. But then you cannot display that fear. You have to show a very brave face. Your thoughts, your whatever thinking that you're doing remains in your heart. It cannot come outside, except with your own colleagues, officers whom you can talk to, possibly. There we had none because everyone was operating independently.
So it was the real Rajesh, the young Rajesh, who was fighting hard out. And I think it's a very good thought for a lot of other people to learn that as a Fauji, you came up that Paltan is a very important thing, and then you lead from the front, and I think that's what you did. You led from the front. There are any which ways that finally you came back with all the success, and we give you all 3 cheers to you, to the country, and very proud of you, sir. Very proud of you. That's a very, very big achievement. A lot of other places you've also been part of. Sorry, I'm going down. You've been part of Op Rakshak in Kashmir, and then Op Vijay in Kargil, and then Parikrama in Rajasthan. And obviously you were commended with a lot of other things. Other than being a Sena medal holder yourself, you've been part of the Chief of the Army Staff Commendation Card, then Northern Army Commanders Commendation Card, and so many other academic qualifications. I'm going to come on that. I mean, you're a man who's got so many things, so stable, and you've done a doctorate, and you've done so many other things. Actually, one needs to refer to your qualifications. Otherwise, one could talk in a few words. Let's hear it from you more on your qualifications, and then how you've left the army and last position held, and where you are now.
You see, God has been kind, and it has been nice of my superiors to recognize the work and which gave me those commendation cards and my Sena medal. So I think there are a lot of other officers who have done much more than me and may not have been recognized that well. So as I said, God has been kind and the superiors have been kind. Army has been very lovely. It was great being there. How I got my academic qualification, that's an interesting one, because I got my first master's in NDA. You get a BA degree from JNU. I got my first master's when I went for my staff college, in which we got it from Madras University. In 2005 was the time when I realized that army is it's a pyramid, and only one guy goes up. And as you keep going up, the success rate is 1 in 3 approximately. So I said that one can be moving out of army, or one can be may not get approved for the next rank. It can happen at any time. So I said, let me improve my academic qualifications, because I said I cannot. Maybe I was not willing to serve if I was not approved. So I started studying, and I started studying in 2005. And a last exam which I cleared was in 2019. So about 14 years. And I got a PhD, I got an MPhil, I got another master's from United States Army War College. I got a postgraduate diploma from DAVV in Human Resource Management. I got another BCom degree because I suddenly realized that I had done an MBA in financial management without knowing much of finance. So I said, let me cover up that gap. So I did my BCom. And then I started appearing for the National Eligibility Test, which is the exam which you need to become an assistant professor in a university. And so I started with the first one which I cleared was on management, because that was my PhD on. Then I cleared in international relations, then I cleared in defense studies, and the last one I cleared was in adult education. So as I said, my last exam which I cleared was as a GOC as a Major General in 2019. Last appointment was Additional Director General of Operational Logistics in New Delhi, from where I retired in November 2019. And what I did after 2019 was I joined an educational institute. I retired on 30th of November, and I joined the institute on 2nd of December. And now finally I've gone back to academics, and I've just joined about a month back as a principal in Acropolis Institute of Management Sciences and Research. So this in short is what the life has been.
A wonderful 36 years in the army. I'm sure that's something. I was in your place. It's a blessing to be part of the army. It's been a very long journey, and your academic qualifications. I'm an army kid, and we keep coming across a lot of people. But I think you've done so well and achieved so many degrees and so much of qualifications. Hats off to you, sir. I mean, you've really been talking to so many kids, teaching the youth, and I think you're back to what you really were. So basically, the education here is for the youth. So you're giving it back to the society. I think that's how one can say, because this education is back to the society, back to the children, back to the youth of this country. So hats off to you, sir.
Thank my family, and thank God for opportunities that were given to me.
Yes, sir. Before I sum up, I'd like to ask you a question. What was the most dramatic moment of your life, serving as a soldier for so long, 36 years?
Traumatic moment, that was in Op Vijay, where we lost an officer. And that officer...
Where was Op Vijay, sir? Can you elaborate more?
Op Vijay was Operation Kargil. So that was the time when I was the GSO2 operations in one of the RR sectors, and it was early morning when we heard a bomb blast. We heard a sound of a blast. So we immediately got on the radio and checked what had happened. So I was told that there was an IED blast that had taken place just about a kilometer from where our headquarters was. So we were the closest to that location. So I said, let me call for a mine-protected vehicle to go to the operation site. Possibly I would have gone for that. But then that one young officer, Captain Guleria, he says, sir, you ask for your helicopters, etc. to evacuate the casualties, I'll go. And he took the mine-protected vehicle and went there. He got down from the vehicle and he went to the place where the blast had taken place. There were some soldiers who were injured. And that was the time when the second blast took place. And unfortunately, he expired in that blast. So as I said, it could have been me instead of him.
Final question to the young soldiers. How would you tell the Indian Army soldiers? Any message to them?
I think Indian Army is a wonderful organization. I think every soldier who joins joins a family in which has got a glorious traditions and history. We have always done well in the past, and I'm very, very sure that the present generation is going to keep the flag flying high, and we will continue to achieve success and bring glory to the country.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Very proud of you, and we pray for your good health and see you doing so much more for the country all the time. And we'll look forward to catching up with you again. And thank you so much for your time. And God bless you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Puneet. Jai Hind.